Over 60? Eat these 7 cheap foods to quickly rebuild muscle and strength. Let me start with something most people don't realize. After the age of 60, the average person loses about 1% of their muscle every single year. That may not sound like much, but imagine carrying a bag of groceries today and then trying again 10 years from now, only your arms feel weaker, your legs less steady, your grip slipping on the handles. That's how fast independence can slip away. But here's the hopeful truth: your body never loses its ability to rebuild. Even at 70, 80, or 90 years old, science shows your muscles can grow stronger again, and it doesn't take expensive supplements or complicated diets. In fact, the most powerful tools are often right in your kitchen, waiting quietly in your pantry or refrigerator. Picture this: you wake up in the morning, reach for a jar of peanut butter, and your hand trembles trying to twist it open. The lid feels glued shut. That tiny frustration carries a big message: strength is slipping. But now imagine the opposite. You take the same jar weeks later, and your hand closes firmly, twisting with ease. That small victory brings back a sense of confidence. That's what rebuilding muscle feels like: steady, empowering, life-changing. Here's a surprising fact most seniors don't hear: muscle isn't just about moving. It's your longevity organ. Strong muscles protect your heart, keep your memory sharp, and even lower your risk of falls and broken bones. The stronger your muscles, the more your whole body thrives. Weakness is not inevitable, but too many people are told it is. And I want to let you in on something that may shock you. Some of the best foods for rebuilding muscle, the ones that can bring back energy, steadiness, and strength, cost less than a fancy cup of coffee. We're talking about everyday foods you can find in almost any grocery store in America. Not powders, not pricey miracle products. Just real, wholesome foods that work with your body's natural design. Imagine the aroma of eggs sizzling in a skillet, or the warm, nutty smell of oats on the stove. Imagine spooning into thick, creamy yogurt with a drizzle of honey. These aren't exotic or hard to get, but together, they can act like medicine for your muscles, restoring what age tries to take away. And here's another hidden truth: while many people fear that after 60 the body only declines, research shows the exact opposite. Seniors who change what they eat can rebuild muscle faster than younger adults, simply because the body responds so quickly once it gets the right fuel. Yes, at 75 or even 85, you can feel stronger in just weeks. That's not wishful thinking. That's biology. I know what you might be wondering: if it's really that simple, why don't more doctors or health experts talk about it? Well, sometimes the basics don't sound flashy enough to sell. But the basics work. And if you've ever felt discouraged by promises of miracle cures that never delivered, I want you to know this journey is different. This is about proven science and foods you already trust. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we're going to step into the real story behind muscle loss, why it happens, what daily struggles it causes, and why so many seniors feel drained before the day even starts. More importantly, we'll uncover the one truth that almost no one tells people over 60, a truth that can turn frustration into hope. And that's where our journey really begins. Imagine this: you're halfway up the stairs, and suddenly your legs feel like they're carrying sandbags. You pause, your hand gripping the railing, waiting for that burst of energy that just doesn't come. That's not just getting older. That's your muscles quietly shrinking, a condition doctors call sarcopenia. And it begins far earlier than most people realize. Here's the surprising part: muscle loss doesn't wait until you're 80 or 90. It often starts in your 40s. By the time many of us hit 60, we've already lost a third of the muscle we had in our youth. That's why simple daily tasks, carrying a basket of laundry, bending to pick up a grandchild, or even standing up from a soft chair, suddenly feel like uphill battles. And it's not only strength. When muscles weaken, everything else feels the impact. Balance becomes shakier. Stiffness sets in faster. Even memory and focus can dim, because strong muscles help pump oxygen-rich blood to the brain. It's all connected. That's why what feels like just weak legs may actually be the root of fatigue, foggy thinking, or even mood dips. Think about a trip to the grocery store. In your 30s, you'd carry 3 bags on each arm, push the cart, and still have energy to unload at home. Now, you might find yourself slowing down halfway through the parking lot, pausing to shift the weight. You notice your hands ache from the plastic handles. You catch your breath quicker. These are the quiet signals your body is sending, whispering that your muscles are running on empty. But here's something uplifting: your body is not broken. It's hungry. Hungry for the right building blocks. See, muscles are made from protein and fueled by certain nutrients. When the supply runs low, the body starts to borrow from its own reserves, breaking down faster than it rebuilds. That's why so many people after 60 feel tired even if they're eating enough calories. They're eating energy but not enough of the raw materials that actually rebuild muscle. And here's a truth no one tells most seniors: muscle loss is not just about age. It's about what you feed your body, or what you don't. Many older adults skip protein at breakfast, grab a light lunch, and then load up at dinner. But by then, the body can't use it all efficiently. It's like pouring water onto dry soil, but only after the roots have already cracked. To truly thrive, the body needs steady nourishment throughout the day, not one big push at the end. Let me paint a picture. Imagine you're working on a jigsaw puzzle. If you're missing half the pieces, you can stare at it all day long, it will never come together. That's what happens inside your muscles without the right nutrients. Your body wants to build, but the pieces just aren't there. And yet, when those missing foods are added back in, it's like sliding the right puzzle piece into place. Suddenly the picture makes sense, the body responds, and strength returns. The good news? Those puzzle pieces are not rare or expensive. They're in simple, everyday foods you've seen 1,000 times. Foods that taste good, feel satisfying, and restore energy in ways pills never can. And soon, I'm going to reveal exactly what they are. But before we get there, we need to clear up something important. Because a lot of advice out there about healthy aging actually makes the problem worse. People are told to eat less protein, avoid certain foods, or spend money on products that do nothing for strength. And that's where so many seniors hit a dead end. In the next part, we're going to pull back the curtain on the most common myths and mistakes, the ones that drain your wallet, waste your effort, and keep you weaker than you need to be. And once you see them clearly, the real path to strength will finally come into focus. Let me ask you something. How many times have you heard the advice, just walk more, you'll get stronger? Or maybe, take a calcium pill, that's all you need for your bones and muscles. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The truth is, while walking and calcium have their place, that advice alone leaves out the very heart of what your body truly needs after 60. And in some cases, it can even hold you back. Here's a shocking fact: nearly 40% of seniors are protein deficient, yet many are told to cut back on protein because of outdated fears about the kidneys. The result? They eat less of the very thing their muscles are begging for. It's like being told to water your garden less during a drought. No wonder so many older adults feel weaker each year, even when they're following the rules. And then there's the supplement trap. Walk down any drugstore aisle and you'll see shelves loaded with powders, miracle drinks, and pricey pills promising strength, energy, and vitality. The labels look convincing. The promises sound tempting. But here's the uncomfortable truth: many of those products either don't absorb well in the body or don't contain enough of what really matters. Seniors end up spending hundreds of dollars a year on things that never move the needle. It's frustrating, isn't it? Think of the times you felt it in your own body: the stiffness in your knees when you first stand up from the couch, the dull ache in your back after a short trip to the store, the way your arms feel heavy when carrying even a small box. Those aren't just aches and pains. They're signals. Signals that the body is missing its building blocks, while the myths and misinformation around health are quietly draining both strength and money. Here's something else that doesn't get said enough: low-fat foods, the ones plastered with heart-healthy labels, are often stripped of the very nutrients your muscles crave. A cup of low-fat yogurt may look like the better choice, but without the fat, your body struggles to absorb certain vitamins that protect your muscles and joints. In trying to be healthy, many seniors are unknowingly starving their strength. And I'll bet this will surprise you: muscles don't just weaken from lack of use. They weaken from lack of fuel. Imagine trying to drive your car on fumes. The engine coughs, sputters, and eventually stalls. That's what your muscles feel like when they don't get enough quality protein, vitamins, and minerals. The sad part is, people often blame themselves, "I'm just too old," when really, it's the advice they've been given that let them down. But here's where the story shifts. Because once you understand these myths, you can stop wasting your time, money, and energy on things that don't work. And when you replace them with foods that actually nourish your muscles, the difference can be felt within weeks: steadier legs, firmer grip, fewer stumbles, even clearer thinking. The most amazing part? These foods aren't exotic. They aren't expensive. They're not hiding on a top shelf in a health store. They're already in the grocery aisles you walk through every week. Some of them are sitting in your pantry right now, overlooked, waiting for you to rediscover them. And in the next part, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to dive into the turning point, the science-backed aha moment that shows how the right foods can flip the switch from weakness to strength. You're about to see how simple choices at the dinner table can become the foundation of a stronger, steadier life. Picture this for a moment. A man in his 70s, tired of feeling weak, decides to try one simple change: adding 2 eggs to his breakfast each morning. Within just a few weeks, he notices something strange. The jar that used to give him trouble opens more easily. His legs don't shake when he stands from his chair. And for the first time in years, he feels like his body is working with him instead of against him. What changed? Not a magic pill. Just the right building blocks his muscles had been missing. Here's the breakthrough: science shows that even at advanced ages, your muscles respond almost instantly when you give them what they need. Proteins, amino acids, and certain key nutrients act like fuel to fire up your body's repair system. It's a little like patching holes in a roof. Once the new shingles are laid down, the leaks stop, and the whole house feels stronger again. Your muscles are the same way: they're always repairing, rebuilding, patching. They just need the right materials. And here's something most people don't know. The foods that deliver those materials aren't exotic or expensive. They're everyday staples, foods you probably grew up with. Beans simmering on the stove, a piece of fish sizzling in the pan, a spoonful of creamy cottage cheese. Each one is loaded with nutrients that tell your muscles, it's time to grow again. The most powerful medicine is already in your grocery cart, you just haven't been told which ones matter most. Let me put it in plain English. Your muscles are like bricks in a wall. Over time, bricks crumble and fall away. But when you eat the right foods, it's like bringing fresh bricks to the job site. Slowly but surely, the wall is rebuilt, stronger, taller, steadier. And here's the exciting part: studies show seniors can gain muscle just as effectively as younger adults when their nutrition is right. That means it's not too late. Not at all. Think about how that feels in real life. Climbing the stairs without stopping halfway. Carrying groceries from the car without wincing. Waking up and swinging your legs out of bed without that stiffness that makes you hesitate. These aren't little victories. They're the foundation of independence. They're what keep you living on your terms. And if you're wondering, so which food should I actually eat? You're in the right place. Because the journey we're on together is about to shift from frustration to clarity. I'm going to show you exactly which everyday foods are like muscle fuel. Foods that are cheap, tasty, and easy to add to your routine. You'll see how each one works, and why combining them creates an even more powerful effect. But let me tease you with one more surprising truth before we dive into them. Some of the foods that scientists say rebuild muscle fastest are the very ones people overlook because they seem too ordinary. They're not marketed as superfoods. They don't come in shiny packages. And yet, they outperform the pricey powders and miracle drinks lining the shelves. So get ready, because in the next part, we're stepping into your kitchen. We'll walk through, one by one, the 7 everyday foods that can reignite your strength, energy, and confidence. And by the time we're done, you'll see just how simple and delicious rebuilding muscle can be. Now let's open the kitchen door together. You don't need a long shopping list or expensive gadgets. You just need a few simple foods that, when eaten regularly, can change how strong and steady your body feels. And the best part? These are budget-friendly. They're in nearly every grocery store, sometimes hiding in plain sight. Let's start with the classic, eggs. One egg contains about 6 grams of high-quality protein, plus vitamin B12, which keeps your nerves firing strong. They're cheap, versatile, and easy to prepare. Picture the sound of eggs cracking into a hot skillet, the golden yolk spreading, the smell filling the kitchen. That's more than breakfast, that's muscle fuel for your entire day. Next up, Greek yogurt. Thick, creamy, tangy. Just 1 cup packs more protein than most seniors eat at breakfast. It also carries probiotics that keep your digestion smooth, which means your body actually absorbs the nutrients you eat. Pair it with a spoonful of honey or a handful of berries, and suddenly it feels like dessert, but your muscles know it's medicine. Now let's talk about beans and lentils. These humble little powerhouses are loaded with protein, fiber, and minerals like magnesium and iron. They're dirt cheap, pennies per serving, and they keep your blood sugar steady, which prevents that afternoon crash so many people struggle with. Imagine a warm bowl of lentil soup on a cool evening, hearty and satisfying, each bite quietly feeding your muscles. And here's one that surprises people: sardines. Yes, those little fish in the can. They're packed with protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and vitamin D, nutrients proven to boost muscle function and joint strength. Pop open a can, add a squeeze of lemon, maybe spread them on toast. It's affordable, it's powerful, and it's one of the best-kept secrets of healthy aging. Number 5, oats. Not fancy, not flashy, but oats provide slow, steady energy that fuels your muscles and brain all day long. Unlike sugary cereals, they don't spike your blood sugar. A warm bowl in the morning, topped with cinnamon or banana slices, smells like comfort and fuels you like a champion. Number 6, cottage cheese. Old-fashioned? Maybe. But this creamy favorite is one of the richest sources of casein protein, which digests slowly. That means your muscles stay fed even hours after you eat it, especially overnight. A small bowl before bed can literally help your body repair while you sleep. Sprinkle a little fruit on top, and suddenly it's sweet, refreshing, and nourishing all at once. These 6 foods alone can rebuild strength week by week, meal by meal. They don't require big changes, just simple swaps. Eggs instead of sweet pastries. Greek yogurt instead of sugary snacks. Beans instead of pricey processed meals. Sardines instead of mystery supplements. Each one is a step back toward confidence, balance, and independence. But I promised you something, didn't I? I promised 7. And here's where things get exciting. Because the 7th food, the most powerful of all, is often overlooked. It's affordable, it's satisfying, and it has been proven to restore strength faster than almost anything else. Seniors who add it to their weekly routine often feel the difference in days, not months. And that's what we're going to uncover in the next part. The single most powerful, budget-friendly food you can eat for strength after 60, and the transformation story that proves just how much it can change your life. Here it is, the 7th and most powerful food of all. Drumroll in your mind if you like, because this one truly deserves it. The champion on our list is something simple, affordable, and almost always available: chicken thighs. Not the boneless, skinless breasts you see advertised everywhere, but the humble thigh. Why? Because it's rich in protein, packed with nutrients like creatine and zinc, and it costs a fraction of most health products. Now, you might be thinking, chicken thighs? Really? Yes. Here's why. Breasts are lean, but thighs carry more iron and more flavor, and they're easier to cook without drying out. That means you're more likely to eat them regularly. And when you do, you're giving your body one of the best, most consistent muscle-building fuels it can get. A single serving delivers enough protein to kickstart repair and help rebuild the strength you thought was gone for good. Imagine this scene. A skillet warming on the stove, the sizzle as the meat hits the pan, the savory aroma filling the kitchen. You take that first bite, tender, juicy, satisfying. That isn't just dinner. That's independence on a plate. That's the power to climb stairs without groaning, to carry bags from the car with steady arms, to rise from a chair without hesitation. Here's a story that still gives me chills. A woman in her late 70s, tired of wobbling when she walked, decided to swap a few processed meals for home-cooked dishes with chicken thighs, beans, and vegetables. Within 6 weeks, she noticed something she hadn't felt in years: she could get up from the couch without bracing herself on the armrest. Her hands no longer shook when she tried to open jars. Her family even commented that she looked taller, standing straighter, moving with more confidence. That wasn't a miracle. That was protein, absorbed and put to work. And here's the twist most people never hear. Your body doesn't just maintain with these foods. It can create new muscle even after 70 or 80. Yes, scientists have proven it. Age doesn't erase your body's ability to grow stronger. The factory inside you is still open for business. It's just been short on supplies. Give it the right foods, like chicken thighs alongside eggs, yogurt, beans, sardines, oats, and cottage cheese, and suddenly that factory hums again. Now, I want you to pause and picture your own transformation. Imagine waking up in the morning, swinging your legs out of bed, and standing without that little grunt of effort. Imagine walking into your kitchen, preparing a simple meal that smells incredible, knowing with each bite you're adding strength to your day. Imagine family gatherings where you're not sitting on the sidelines but lifting your grandchild, laughing, moving, living fully. That is what these foods can do. And here's the part that should make you smile: none of this requires fancy tricks or big spending. These are foods that cost less than a fast food meal. Yet, they deliver more healing power than the shelves of powders and pills that companies push. Real food. Real results. But this journey isn't just about what's on your plate. It's about what happens when you put it all together, when you stick with it, meal after meal, week after week. That's when the real transformation shows up. Stronger legs. Clearer mind. More laughter, more freedom, more joy. In our final part, we're going to step back and see the bigger picture. How these foods add up, why consistency matters more than perfection, and the hopeful vision of what life can look like when you embrace this path. Because this isn't just about eating differently, it's about living differently. And you'll want to hear every word. Let me tell you something that might shock you. Most people don't lose their independence because of illness. They lose it because of weakness. Weak legs that can't carry them. Weak arms that can't lift them. Weak backs that can't steady them. And here's the truth, it doesn't have to be that way. Your body is built to keep rebuilding itself. Even at 70, 80, or 90, your muscles are ready to respond if you give them what they need. Every bite of those 7 foods we talked about is like laying a brick in a strong foundation. 1 egg at breakfast? That's a brick. A bowl of oats with milk? Another brick. Beans in your soup, yogurt in the afternoon, sardines on a salad, cottage cheese before bed, and a roasted chicken thigh for dinner, brick after brick, building back the strength you thought time had taken away. Now, imagine the ripple effect. When your muscles are stronger, your joints don't carry the same heavy load. Your balance improves. Your energy stretches further into the day. Even your memory sharpens, because protein doesn't just feed your body, it feeds your brain. Scientists have found that seniors who eat more protein actually cut their risk of cognitive decline nearly in half. Think about that: sharper thinking, steadier steps, more freedom, all from simple, everyday foods. I want you to picture a future version of yourself. The one who doesn't avoid stairs but takes them confidently. The one who doesn't wait for someone else to carry the groceries but hoists the bag with steady arms. The one who doesn't skip family outings because of fatigue but laughs, walks, and joins in. That future is not a dream. It's built meal by meal, choice by choice, right now. And listen, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to overhaul your whole kitchen in one day. Just start. Swap 1 processed meal for real food. Add 1 extra serving of protein where you used to skip it. Your body notices every little change. It rewards you with more energy, better movement, and a spark you thought had dimmed. I've seen it firsthand. Seniors who thought their best days were behind them found themselves gardening again, dancing again, traveling again. One man in his 80s told me he finally felt strong enough to pick up his great-granddaughter without fear of dropping her. He said, that moment alone was worth it all. That's the kind of payoff we're talking about. Not numbers on a chart, but real life, lived fully. So, where do you go from here? You go forward with hope. With knowledge. with the understanding that aging doesn't mean fading. It means fueling. It means giving your body the tools it's been waiting for. 7 foods. 7 simple keys to unlocking a stronger, more vibrant you. As you step away from this video, remember, you are not too old, and it is not too late. Every meal is a chance to heal, to rebuild, to reclaim your strength. And when you choose wisely, you're not just eating. You're investing in more years of laughter, in more days of independence, in more memories with the people you love. So go ahead. Open your fridge, open your pantry, and open your mind to the possibility of what comes next. Your story isn't finished. In fact, it's just beginning. And the next chapter? It can be the strongest one yet.